10 o'clock. There we go. Morning again, everyone. It's 10 o'clock and it's Friday, the 7th of October, and we're at our 116th Connect and Share. Great to see you all, and lovely to see most of you in person last week. It's great to, put a face to, obviously we've got a face here, but a body to a face and a name. So excellent to see some familiar faces again. I'm standing in again for Laurie today, as she's with the Assistant Treasurer in Canberra, getting some really useful information out there for us in the industry. So today we've got a fairly relaxed program ahead, and we've got a few videos to watch and just some key information for members. But before we start, there we go. Just wanted to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're all on. I'm on Gadigal and Bidjigal land here, and just pay our respects to any elders past, present and emerging. And that lovely photo was from before our gala dinner at the conference last week. So it was a great way to enter the dinner and, understand the land that we were on up there in a much deeper way. And just from Laurie, a huge thank you for everyone for coming last week. I know she worked really hard to get the program as seamless as it seemed. And yeah, she'd love any feedback that you can offer. It's just on SurveyMonkey. And James, if you can add that link into the chat, that would be great. Just if you haven't completed that survey yet, please do. Oops, wrong way. Why do I always go backwards? There we go, going forwards again. So here's just some of the highlights from the conference. It's just about a 3.5-minute video, and you might even see your own photo in there. And just
My name is Yvonne Weldon, and I am a Wiradjuriman from Cowra here in New South Wales. From the waters of the Clare, which later became known as Lachlan, and of the Murrumbidgee rivers. I would like to pay my respects to all elders past and present, to all First Nations, to you, and the many ancestors' lands that you have travelled from or are from.
Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, darling, you were meant to surrender.
Your hand probably didn't change direction. What did change direction? Yeah, your perspective. Nothing had changed but for your perspective. A big part of that is what we introduce and invite our groups to do. We use the outdoors as a catalyst to introduce them to look at things from a different perspective. We've already been invited with our initial welcomes is to view things from a different perspective. So don't miss the opportunity to view it from another perspective, to actually engage, to lean in. My experience is everyone has something to share that you don't know. And there is 260 of those opportunities during the course of this conference, opportunities to actually change your perspective as you continue to reconnect, which of course is the theme of our conference.
Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. I've seen it in people's hearts and minds when they're out in the outdoors. If you're saying to yourself, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, you're definitely not going to be able to. But the second a student, myself, people I'm traveling with get hope, they can achieve anything. You know, like it shows the suffering on Naked and Afraid all the time, but I wish it showed the magic. You know, there was moments I was in this shelter and lightning storms and rain like you'd never believe coming down, and my shelter was dry and trees were falling down around me, but there was lightning bugs in my shelter, and I'm like, who gets to do this stuff? Like, this is amazing. But every evening I would thank the land for everything that it offered me. So that's just something to think about the power of, you know, the spirit of the earth that we walk on.
We have an opportunity today to make history for tomorrow that's going to be positive for all of us and not at the detriment of anyone else. I do hope that we continue to connect, we continue to support, and we continue to grow. Thank you.
Nice. That's a great video, and it's good to see some of the highlights from what was going on up there. And I know it was a jam-packed program, and yeah, we really thank everyone for coming and for the volunteers for all their help. They made it really amazing for all of us. And also to the sponsors, everyone who was there and who exhibited and who, I guess, helped the program be as great as it was. Okay, and we've also got a presentation from Laurie from the conference. And it was just one of her presentations it's just about 6 or 7 minutes about some of the challenges that the industry's been facing lately. And it's just a really good summary of the last 2 or 3 years for the industry. And yeah, we'll just have a little watch of that for the next 6 or 7 minutes.
Hi there, Laurie Mode here from Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. Just recently at the National Outdoor Education Conference, I participated in a panel discussion around what came of things like the fires and COVID and some of the disasters that we've had in the last few years, and what we have been doing and what we have learned from those experiences. I thought I'd share my presentation with all the members and larger community in the outdoors so that some of these elements that we discussed could be reflected on. So I'll go through the presentation that I went through in Laura on the 27th of September for you now. So most of you know that I actually started the role as a CEO here on the day of the first declared lockdown. Some would say it'd be baptism of fire, but I'd say I wouldn't have it any other way. One thing I already knew coming into the role was how to run a peak body and support members getting heard, how to engage with stakeholders, and how to strategically plan for outcomes. But the recent disasters really took that to another level. As a peak body, we're here to help a thriving, sustainable industry and the broader sector. That means that we're here to alleviate challenges and create opportunities. So as I talk through some of the things that we have done over the past 2.5 years, 3 years, I've got some images running in the background to visually show you some of these as we go through. So when entering the role, what I didn't know was the intricacies of the industry, and I thank all the members greatly for taking my phone calls and answering my silly questions. A huge thank you to my 33 volunteers that make up my board and my subcommittees that help drive the knowledge that I'll never be able to obtain for their years of experience in the outdoors. So armed with my volunteers and our strategy, I knew that we needed better collaboration as I picked up on some of the silos that existed. And amazingly, I found there was a commonality for outcomes. but they were heading in different directions, minimising impact before COVID actually hit. And COVID was only going to make that worse unless we got our strategy right. The strategy needed to consider how the organisation was going to get what it needed to get done with the resources it had, how we could use subcommittees to gain the knowledge that we needed and the actions to be taken. Our strategy was 4 pillars: advocacy, promotion, connection, and education. Needless to say, advocacy was always important, but none more important than following things like bushfires and entering and being in COVID. Messages needed to be clear, consistent, and strategic, bringing research and data into the equation and advocating for the future of the industry, not just for the now. Leveraging the exposure we got was incredibly important for the opportunities we're now realising as a body and as an industry. Needless to say, we had some good discussions and hope these continue as we have plenty more fights to be had, including curriculum changes, aware of the industry as an industry, improving awareness of our offerings, getting our staff back, dealing with the costs of doing business, insurance challenges, competing priorities such as national park closures for access of activities, increasing access to other land use, climate change impacts and policies that do not support our outcomes. There will always be something to advocate for, and with a looming state election, it's key time for us to get those consistent messages together and work together to say the same things so that we're heard in unison, not as separate voices. Our members and subcommittees will be vital to ensuring we always are in the know about what the challenges are and what needs to be conquered for a more thriving and sustainable outcome. It may seem like a lot of challenges, but the first rule to conquering them is know what they are. There was one reason we're all still here today, and that's because we believe in our outcomes and we're passionate about ensuring more people gain access to that. So our next pillar of operation as an organisation is promotion, and it's about that consistent activity, about building back stronger, looking at our challenges head on, including our staffing and our awareness, and being considered by everyone. So it became the promotion of activity, promotion of the industry, and promotion of potential careers that could be had. We had to get back the thousands of staff that we lost, and it wasn't going to be easy. This work still continues with working with federal government and international ambassadors. Promotion to the public in being aware of what they can be part of is also a crucial point. How they can enjoy the benefits of the outdoors and partner with tourism organisations, influencers and publicity agents to get the message out wider. But we also need to continue being at the table with other industry sectors and being part of the conversation where key decisions are being made. I was privileged to be able to put input into the New South Wales Government Industry Strategy, the New South Wales Job Summit, Tourism Australia Adventure Tourism Promotions, and much more. Our third and fourth pillars are intertwined, connecting and educating, crossing over, but it's about the connection of the industry and the broader sector to learn from each other, network and share, and also be informed, educated, and provide needed content to keep us sustainable and competitive. Lifting the standard of the providers to continue to achieve above our needs. After 115 Connect and Share forums, we've brought over 100 topics to the industry for discussion and knowledge gathering. We connect with stakeholders to share an understanding of how we interact. A good example is the insurance area, where we've been bringing together insurers, brokers and industry, and so we can understand the challenges and navigate towards solutions together. Providing programs like our mentoring program, our masterclass continues to keep our businesses informed, and we're open to new ways to help our industry grow. Then there's the Active Outdoor Kids program, an initiative that was born from bushfire funds but's proving its worth in spades. Active Outdoor Kids probably covers all of our 4 pillars in one way or another. It advocates for change in active recreation in youth by leading by example. It promotes the opportunities of active recreation that are not well understood in comparison to sport, and it connects with operators with new markets and research that shows the importance we can share with everyone to do better. When you know better, you do better. Although COVID did provide us the opportunity to leverage many of these items, the message I think is always the same when disaster strikes. As Winston Churchill put it beautifully, never let a good crisis go to waste. And we certainly haven't. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Even when Laurie's not here, she's still very much here. She's everywhere all at once, and we're very lucky to have her as she does amazing work. Now, sorry about this. I'll just get back to the presentation. See, I'm not nearly as tech. You should have this seamless. I'm just a mere amateur in comparison. And of course, my screen isn't coming up. So where are we? It's not presenting for me for some strange reason. Sorry, I'm just going to stop the share and start the share again. Where are we? There we go. Oh, strange. Anyway, it's not presenting. It's not going to presenter mode. So we'll just stay in this mode for a little while. James, just making sure that everyone can know it's stopped sharing. So I'll just go back to sharing again. Isn't that ironic? As soon as I start to and I was muted that whole time. How hilarious. Thanks for that. And all my sharing settings aren't working. I'm just going to move this over here. Okay. Share. Now, I know I'll just go back to presenter mode. Yep, there we go. It's coming up again. Sorry about that little glitch. So just some urgent items. It's really important that if you're interested in becoming a board member for Outdoors New South Wales and ACT, nominations are due in 10 days, and we specifically need some more men, some more women and some more people of diverse backgrounds to be part of our board. So I'll ask James to put that link in the chat as well. So if you or if you know of anybody who you think would be great on the board, please send them this and you can either nominate them or they can nominate themselves. David, you've got your hand up. Is there something that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, there was just one thing from the conference. I know we only got a small group and I'll put it, something to discuss at some stage. But one of the things that Laurie and the organisers had trouble with was getting volunteers.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether we need to, volunteering is not something that a lot of people are able to do these days as easily as in the past. And normally we'd get volunteers from universities, students, but often they would be working that week, to get money to stay at university. And I'm wondering whether we need to relook at how we use volunteers and perhaps we need to pay a little bit more of their travel accommodation and other types of things, and perhaps even a small bit of remuneration, a few $100s to cover their expenses. I had to do that to get the people up from Monash. And it could be that it's not the conference that does it. It might be something that an organisation sponsors the volunteers separately, rather than, or part might be adding to the fee. but it could also be a sponsoring opportunity. I just throw that up as something that we might all have to consider for the future. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for that, David. It's a great idea. And I think, you know, for people who are volunteering and they do have to pay expenses, it is very difficult to make that affordable and you know, when they might be taking time out of their work or, you know, other parts of their life. So that's a great idea. Yeah, thanks for that.
Can you excuse me? There's been an incident. I need to take some phone calls.
Absolutely. Thanks, David. Sorry, I'm just, whoops, here we go. Going forward. So another thing that's we really need to look at is if you haven't already registered for the masterclass that's in Ulladulla on the 24th and 25th of November, please do so. Just go to the Outdoors New South Wales ACT website and register, because it's a free 2-day workshop. So it's all been sponsored, so it's completely free for members, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity to see some of the leaders in the industry doing some presentations and just get some information and meet other people in the industry. 24th and 25th of November, please register. Dan, I noticed you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. Thanks for filling in for Laurie today. Could I just speak to the call out for board members briefly?
Absolutely.
If I could just sort of say that we all know that we have such an amazing, diverse industry that is inclusive of all, and that we, you know, for the best outcomes on our programs, we really would like to foster inclusivity and inclusion for all participants. And as the peak body for Outdoors New South Wales and ACT, we'd love to have representation to support the industry better as well. So I'd really encourage people to volunteer as a director. It's a really rewarding position, and it gives you the opportunity to support the industry and to promote sort of positive change. So we'd love to have lots of people apply and to sort of get the best outcomes to support the industry. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Dan. That's great. Great summary. Hugh, you've got your hand up too. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, Helen. You guys have probably just worked out why I've been on mute and hiding in the background. Been going pretty 120% for the last 8 weeks, and it's caught up with me. One of the just on the board topic and the representation there, one of the areas that I think it would be really healthy for us to have representation is at an employee level. I think many of the challenges we face in terms of retention of staff and paying them well and looking after them and longevity in the industry might be better managed and better understood if we could have some representation there.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's my 2 cents worth.
Thanks heaps. Thanks, Hugh. Yeah, just definitely if there's anybody listening to this, please just get in contact if you have any questions. Yeah, just some recent publicity that's come out in the media. I guess one aspect which we discussed at the conference was that a lot of the outdoor education is delivered in the private sector, and just calling for a greater presence of outdoor education in the public sector and getting it embedded into the curriculum. And I know that that's done to a much greater extent in Victoria and even Tasmania, but just in New South Wales, really getting it out there. Also, just, I guess, having an understanding of the industry and the power of the industry from all the sectors as well. Dr. Amanda Lloyd, who is a former CEO of Outdoors New South Wales ACT, she works in the nature play space and co-presented at one of the pre-conference workshops. And I understand that they are keen to do some follow-up after that. She was hoping to come to to this session this morning, but also has a 2-year-old, so didn't think it would fit in. But yeah, just to get the message out there that they are going to do some follow-up, a bit more of a workshop down the track, and just to let us know if you're interested in participating in that. Another thing that is in the need to know category is that ABAT, which is the Australian Association of Bush Adventure Therapists, is now going to be known as Outdoor Health Australia. And I guess that has some impact on the industry overall. Realising the power of a title such as that, and that we really want to kind of keep all the messaging aligned and have and understand what they're doing and what we're doing and how we can support each other. Another need to know is we're asking for volunteers for Dare to Plunge. It's an event in Canberra on the 2nd and 3rd of December, and you would be abseiling in Woden in the ACT. I'm not sure whether there's anybody on the meeting who knows anything more about that. But it sounds like, Dan, looks like you know something about it, if you'd like to talk about it.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate that David's also involved in some of the planning, but Outdoors New South Wales ACT have been approached to support a PCYC charity raising event in early December that will, we've been told, have the Prime Minister and some other high-flying dignitaries in attendance. Hopefully they'll still turn up. And it's going to be raising significant money for PCYC programs for young people, disadvantaged youths, and the other sorts of things they do. There will be some paid guides there to support the technical requirements, but we are looking for about 10 to 12 volunteers for a 4 or 5 day period. You don't have to come every day, but you might be able to come for 1 day or half a day or something to support with some of the other technical skills, ground crew, top crew, media management, getting people harnessed up and stuff like that. If we have enough volunteers and expertise, we've been promised there'll be 2 abseil lines for people paying money to do for fundraising. If there's enough staff there, we'll be able to have a 3rd line that will be used for ONU New South Wales ACT promotion and development and that sort of stuff. So you'll be able to throw yourselves down that line and learn some skills and contribute to a real opportunity to promote the industry really, really broadly as well. So if you're in the area, we'd love to hear from you and get you involved. You'll develop a heap of great skills and also be contributing to a great program. I always often get asked to donate money and things for various fundraisers. What I've always found really rewarding personally is to donate my time as a leader and a skilled person, and to get those wellbeing benefits that come out of seeing the growth that occurs in the clients that you work with. So would encourage people to volunteer.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dan. That's great. There's also an expression of interest open for the Adventure Guide Subcommittee. So if you're a skilled adventure guide, leading people on, or have in the past, we've got a subcommittee that's getting together at the moment. So please email us if you are interested in being part of that. We'd love to have you. So lots of opportunities to be part of things. Another thing that you might be interested in, or someone you know may be interested in, is that there's a new lease that's available for the conservation hut, which is in the Blue Mountains National Park. That's a 5-year term for a hospitality lease. So it would need to be someone who is experienced in hospitality and could, you know, put on food service, and you know, it's an incredible spot in Wentworth Falls, and would be an amazing opportunity to have to showcase the area and have a great business there. So if you or anybody you know is interested and experienced in hospitality in an incredible spot, that information is available, and just get in contact with Laurie to find out more. Another thing that's coming up is the Mountain Film Tour is coming to Sydney and Canberra at the end of October. And while we're here, we might as well just have a little preview of what you might see, and you know, take us back out into the wild world of the mountains. So I'll just play the trailer for that for everyone, just to have a little excitement in our Friday morning.
My heart, my soul, my faith, my appetite won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. My heart, my soul, my faith, my appetite won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. My heart, my soul, my faith, my appetite won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. You ain't seen nothing yet. Walk down my way. Start that fire. Burn it down. Oh, yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. I go on. Let the sun go. Feel me now. Feel me now. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, it's nice to have a reminder of the wild things that are out there that, you know, many of us are capable of doing. Yeah, that's just something exciting and interesting. Yeah, my usual technical difficulties. I'm just trying to get back to not full screen, and it doesn't seem to be going. Where are we? Okay. So there's another app that's come out from National Parks, and it's a Slug Sleuth app. So if you're interested in tiny bugs and little things in the environment, this is something that you might be interested in having a look at, just to and get some information on some of our threatened species in different parts of New South Wales. Another really useful and important piece of knowledge is that there's some new modules available through the Office of the Children's Guardian. You may have heard the representative speaking at the conference last week. But yeah, these modules are really useful, and the new ones that are available are about responding to reportable allegations, sport modules, and child safe organisation modules, and a safe space e-learning module. So that one's for the disability sector. So this information is just so useful and important for protecting children in as we work in our industry. And And that's all for today's official meeting, but we might pause the recording now, stop the recording for the day. And I'll just say thanks to everyone who's come along and thanks to everyone who's listened.